We are in the IMBA Cup preseason. It's getting pretty close to the actual thing. A couple of more days till the selectionals were finished today. Now we got a total of 16 players. So here are the two players that are going to compete. Might get first place. Of course, we got Pebble, who just qualified. He's going to play as UEF, and Pebble with UEF is notoriously a very difficult thing to go up against. And we've got Isen here as Seraphim. Of course, this is 3603. So Sarah ACU is quite different from the one at 3599. Of course, Ice is here, classic map. Might turn into a turtle. I have no idea. I just saw a lot of people saying it's a really good game, so I'm gonna watch it and talk over it. So we see first air coming out for Isen. It's very aggressive. That's kind of dangerous on a map with two choke points where you gotta control early with the ground. We've got this Mech Marine from Pebble, and you know he's going right there. He's gonna try to catch out an NG expanding into the side base. And here comes the bomber for Isen. If he can pick off this NG, it'll be very annoying. There goes the bomb. Great micro on the bomber from Isen. He's gonna find some more NGs, and we might see Pebble try to dodge this one. And yeah, he's doing a good job. Now he's going to get some 2 on flak out as well. Now you can see here Pebble got a very important Mech Marine. Still only 1 kill for the bomber. That's going to look for any expanding NGs. Don't really want to fly over Pebble's main base with all that flak. So Pebble got out of that quite easily. Of course the bomber is still alive. But this, and you can also see any expanding NGs from Pebble. That's a very common early tactic, like we see from Isen right here. So this is not a possibility for Pebble. He's going to get a lot of mass with this one. Can protect it with a bomber. So really great play from Isen here. That's something that probably should be done a lot more often. But here comes a T1 air from Pebble. At least maybe it's done all the time. I just never noticed. That's a very good idea. Can totally protect there. And it looks like that Mech Marine from Pebble has been taken care of. I kind of missed that. We do see some tanks. I don't see any dead units. And it looks like the ACU for Isen is going to the other choke point. So it looks like Isen is going to go for taking most of the map. We see transport from Pebble now. It looks like he is going to go off map, so that's not a clear rule, I guess. If people don't agree on this before the game, people do it. Doesn't really matter. They could have just flew over here. Absolutely no radar. It's just not necessary to do. And it looks like Isen is going to have air control over the other choke point. Looks like a little bit of misdirection from Pebble. Looks like ground spam is the plan for Pebble. He's got 1 air factory. He's spamming power. All T1, and here the 2 ACU is going to meet in the middle. Looks like Isen's got slightly better position, going to get a lot more mass of Pebble, really avoiding the 2 large T3 Rex. But here it's an NG drop here from Pebble, no radar. No radar planned for Isen. This could turn out very bad for Isen. Now we see a lot of the mass has been reclaimed, but still quite a bit left for Isen. And already here, minute 6, 4,000 reclaimed for Isen. Has some power problems. 2,500 for Pebble, so 1,500 mass advantage for Isen. And that NG had a lot to do with that. He's going to get another, probably about 1,500. And the 2 T1 forces for the 2 players are getting into something like 20 or 30 for Pebble. Actually getting quite a bit bigger than Isen's force. Now we see a transport for Isen. He's going to airlift these units over this mountain. And yeah, this is going to be big trouble for Isen. See, he has absolutely no idea what's happening here. These NGs have no idea. And they're about to get run over. There they go. And then also we see a successful drop from Isen, but this force from Pebble can just roll through the middle, probably both choke points. So now we're seeing multiple things. It's a bad situation for Pebble here, but he's got a much better thing going on. He's actually got a base in the back of Isen's base. But these tanks here are going to do some damage, taking out a Hydra, a few mask extractors, and you can see this response from Pebble. But this will be a problem that'll be very difficult to beat. Now we're seeing T2 land from Isen. The Yoshivas definitely have the potential of solving this problem. And now we also see some flag to protect Isen. No A on here, no mercies. And you can see Isen's ACU getting 11 kills. Still 0 kills for Pebble. Looks like air domination from Isen. And now here comes T2. The Yoshivas are going to take back the land, but this is big numbers for Pebble. Based on the score, it looks like a lot more tanking for Isen, because Pebble has produced a lot more tanks in this game. You can see actually 11 kills for this Yoshiva, 3 for the other. Some Yoshivas taking losses. Actually, Pebble taking some of these mask extractors, not going to get a PD up. Of course, a missile launcher here will take that PD out. And here come the Yoshivas rolling through. These are Isen's Yoshivas versus Pebble's. Pebble's T1, and now we're seeing some T2 coming out for Pebble. See the choice of units here. We see some Mongoose, probably Mongoose. Try to use the range. This is where Isen is trying to make his air dominance count. I'm going to have to slow this down a little bit. And here come the T2 gunships. So T2 air and T2 land for Isen. He is using T1 bombers in the middle here to protect. And a lot of wrecks here. So we can call this really, if this is, we'll see how much more successful it is. But you can say Pebble donated a lot of mass here for Isen to reclaim. Of course, at the price of not having mask sectors for a while. But that's a lot of mass here. 240 for each one of these. That's over 1,000 mass. And actually this T2, that's going to be a big mass chunk for Isen. Let's look at the power. He's got some T2 power, so he's going to be able to utilize that mass very quickly. Here come the Mongoose from Pebble. He is going through both choke points. And we can see a retreat from Isen right away. And here come the T2 gunships. They're going to do some raiding on Pebble's base. These are T1 mask extractors, so it won't be a massive loss, but these T2 gunships are going to get shot out of the air, no reason. Air dominance from Isen still. You see this Yoshua with 9 kills, trying to prevent actually a T2 PD here from a pillar and T2 PD, and this pillar, if it's not micro, that's terrible. But yeah, Seraphim, Artie plus the Yoshuas are going to take care of that problem. And these gunships from Isen extremely powerful. This early air domination is really working out very well. He's actually not killing T2 mask extractors here, and it doesn't look like Pebble can do much about it. He does, however, have big advantage in terms of map control, but he is about to lose this base. Not clear how valuable that was, given that he did lose a lot of his own mask extractors to drops and raiders. Alright, so Pebble's ACU, it looks like T2. It's just sitting reclaiming. Isen's ACU getting an upgrade, most likely T2 as well. And you can see Pebble's base has been completely destroyed in the back of Isen's. If he's going to rebuild, he's going to get so much mass. So here at minute 15, he's already reclaimed 10,000 mass, compared to Pebble, who's at 7,000. Actually, Pebble gained quite a bit as well. And finally this gunship is killed. This forest here is a few Mongoose, some T2 flak. You don't want to flat T1 air over T2 flak. We do have these Yoshuas, however, from Isen. Can maybe push Pebble back a little bit. We see some T2 bombers from Seraphim. These are really good for sniping. Not quite as good as the Mercy, but if some ACUs just sitting out there, every bomb counts about 1,000. So if you have 5 bombers and 3 passes, and all of them hit, you're going to kill this ACU. Probably want to come in with like 10 bombers, because he will most likely dodge. Looks like Pebble is playing a drop. It's going to be three transports. Some movement here where Pebble has avoided this T2 force, pulled it out, with his other now moving in. And actually, Isen's ACU is upgrading. If there is a lot more Artie, he could focus on the ACU. Actually, Isen did Now he does have T2 engineering now, so he did not stop that upgrade. And here come the transports. Oh, they're going to run into a lot of trouble here. Not very good transports from Pebble. He did not off map this time, however. But trouble for Isen and his base. These Mongols got through. That was a very nice move from Pebble, pulling out this T2 force, being aggressive and just going through that hole. That was very nice to see. Yeah, that was very good. But once again, Pebble leaving a lot of dead units where his armies left, so a lot of wrecks. Actually feeding Isen quite a bit of mass. This didn't really do much damage except to piss Isen off. But overall we see that Pebble has 3/4 of the map now. That's controlling 4 mass extractors that should belong to Isen. You see T2 power being built by Pebble. He is at T3 land. He's making Perseus. Perseus is always nice to see. His air is still it's a T2 factory, but he's spamming T1 air. Looks like he's getting some mass extractors to T3. And if we look here at Isen, he's going for his 3rd T2 power. He's got a T2 factory making Yoshuas and still T1 air. Actually T2 air right here. So in air it still looks like an advantage for Isen. See this gunship doing harassment with 6 kills. Actually these T2 bombers, they're not using for sniping, they're using against use the Tech 1 land forces. And you can see that was a very nice push back from Isen. He moved out with his T2 as well as his Air Force. Really pushed Pebble back. So you can see none of the middle 8, or actually sorry, this is 6 and 12 mass extractors are utilized. And I can see here Isen has destroyed all of his T1 power. He's going to reclaim that. He's got probably feels like he's got plenty of T2 power. He's not spamming air hard at all, so he shouldn't have too much power problems. See this T2 force of the Yoshuas. This force here has a Percy, so one shot from this unit and each one of those Yoshuas dies, and more Percy's coming in. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's a match for the Yoshua. You kill it with Percy's. And you can see a full retreat from Isen. Yeah, he's going to have to go T3 land as well. He's got T3 land and getting T3 NG. He's going to get some Authams plus the shields. Yes, these Seraphim shields are extremely good. Of course, UEF can also make T2 shields, but Percy is a huge advantage for land battles for UEF. This long stream of Yoshivas no longer really look that formidable. You can see a lot of engines used for the spam here. Looks like there's a little bit of lag in how quickly they engage, and here we see T3 power from Isen and T3 power for Pebble. So in terms of where these two players are in eco, they're very similar. So both suffered a lot of raiding from each other. Actually still signs of that for Pebble. You can see here in the corner a lot of T1 anti-air from Isen. Doesn't want any more drops from that corner. He's probably going to build some more here. Nope. No plan for that yet. Well, here comes the transport. This is a T2 transport this time. Oh, there. So there goes that T1 anti-air plus the T1 interceptors knocked that one down. And what's the choice here? Another T3 engineer and more shields. So it looks like the plan for Isen is shields and Yoshuas. So that's a very fast force, but probably doesn't have the power to go through the Perseus. Pebble now making multiple T3 power. and he is going T3 air very soon. It is minute 25 now. Still only a T1 air spam from Isen. Isen, yeah, is making Yoshivas with shields. I see more T3 power from Isen. Here at minute 25, Isen has reclaimed 25,000. Pebble at 13,000, so a very big advantage for Isen. That's probably the difference in the scores here, and a lot of that reclaim came from Pebble being much more aggressive. See multiple T3 mass extractors for Pebble. Some more drops from Pebble. He's always trying to put pressure on Isen. But this has been a pretty slow period in this game. You can see this build up. Shields and Yoshivas. Still T2 air. So I'll be very curious to see how well those Yoshivas do. Looks like it's going to be a massive drop. So it's a T2 engineers dropped here. So it looks like Pebble is going to try to establish a base here. T2 engineers plus units for early defense. Spam T2 PD plus shield. See if he tries to do that. And these times these NGs. So 3 T2 transports. So there's going to have to be a diversion. We'll see what happens. Still a Yoshiva spam. No Authams yet. Now here comes T3 air from Pebble. So perhaps he's going to go with T3 air. No, now he's making a whole bunch of T1 bombers. So that'll be very interesting. Well, we also see 5 T1 transports. This might be a decoy here for the main attack force. Yeah, so that was very well played by Pebble. Although it was a big price, those 5 transports. But I guess if these, oh yeah, and this is a Percy drop. This is just amazing. 4 Percys, multiple T2. You can see they got their flak, they got their T2 PD. Percy's attacking for. This is a very professionally done drop here. This is done as it's like art. So that's an assassination of that T3 air factory. This is excellent. So we saw 3 Percys, 4 Percys, 5 T2 NGs, and you can see the PD creep is on. With Percy's pushing in, and really the only way to beat this is to have an experimental or a whole bunch of T2 PD. So even though it was off map, it was still really nice. You can see one of those Percys has died, but really buying time for these NGs. Actually now the NGs have died as well too. Not sure how that happened, but it did. So on the other side, missing a lot of action. A big push from Isen actually with this ACU. This ACU has a ridiculous amount of health. Pushing in with this force, a lot of flak, a lot of Yoshivas, and a lot of shields. This is most likely an NG. Let's see what this NG has. It's T3, it's got multiple nano, and it doesn't have the gun. So a lot of health and a really good builder from Isen. But now it looks like, yeah, probably already killed those NGs. And he's going to just kill off this T2PD force. That was an excellent drop from Pebble. Now we're seeing some T3 anti-air from Isen. And these are T2 artillery. So you can fire in, but of course these shields and UEF really in these battles has a massive advantage with the Ravagers. Why is it going so slow, so fast? Right, so a lot of stuff just happened, but we had that in fast motion. There is a large group of Percys here. If they chose to move out, of course breaking through those shields will be very difficult. but power problems for Pebble, but it looks like they'll be solved. Fourth T3 power for Pebble. See 2 T3 powers for Isen. He is still spamming T3 land, and he's going with more power. Major problems for him at his base. And we see T3 bombers from Pebble. So he's got T3 bombers, T3 air if he chooses to attack something. Perhaps the ACU is not the best target, it's very solid. But here come the bombers. They were pretty successful killing a few of the shields plus some of the arty, but they flew over a lot of flak. Yeah, this ACU is nearly impossible to kill unless you're killing with an experimental or a very big number of Perseus. Perhaps if these Perseus all went at the same time, they could have killed Isen there. This is T3 RD standoff here. T2 PD creep will be very difficult against those Ravagers. Perhaps if Isen can kill that T3 factory. See more ecoing from Pebble. This base right here has a lot of eco. Probably all T3 mask tractors. So it's shields versus PD. Seraphim having stronger shields but better PD for Pebble, and here comes a fatty from Pebble. That was a very quick fatty. You can also see this arty. I'll just look at it from this perspective. That's a good looking base from Pebble. See the Ravagers here, the arty doing their thing. Percy's waiting, and the fatty just got completed. And you can see here in the distance, that's Isen sitting there with his ACU. He's going to be getting hit with a lot of firepower. These Perseus decided to move out. Got a lot of mobile shields here. More attempts to shields from Isen. And here come the assault, here come the Perseus. The Isen trying to rebuild some more T2 shields. Got a lot of Yoshivas in here, but probably can't do much to these Perseus. The Perseus are moving out. Let's see Isen versus Perseus here. And very bad situation for Isen. You can also see the fatty shooting it. Yeah, it's a very strong ACU, but there goes Isen at minute 40. That was a very entertaining game. Excellent drop here from Pebble, really turned the game. And Isen had to attack aggressively. He tried to do a PD standoff with UEF. Always a bad idea. And then Pebble with the better eco, making the fatty. So excellent play from Pebble in this one, but Isen played very well.